You were the very first paid customer of Delphi. You were the original innovator that was in on that stuff, right?
I didn't know that until for a long time, but you're right. Yeah, I was the very first paying customer. That was like over 2 years ago now. It was funny because, yeah, I was in the offices of Delphi. I know you know this, but I'll just say it. Up in San Francisco, meeting up with them back in March of this year. And that's where they told me, hey, it's our 2 year anniversary. I was like, what? Like literally the day. And this is in front of their whole team, like 15 people or so, engineers and everything, maybe more. And then that's when they told me, yeah, you're the very first paying customer. I was like, this is so cool. I had no clue, and it blew me away.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's cool, but that's where I'm like, and that was just stumbled upon Twitter at the time, and I was just looking. The story for me, really, I'll just set it here, is that I wanted to make this podcast a two-way conversation. I didn't want it to be me just talking at people listening or watching, but I wanted to give them the opportunity to have a conversation with me and the guests on here. So you can have that two-way conversation, make it personalized and go deep, maybe on something that we didn't cover, but you can kind of like use the collective podcasts that have been trained into this thing. I mean, my Delphi has something like 14 million words trained into it. So it's like
Amazing.
got a lot of
That is
stuff.
so amazing.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. And we talk about like your use case. So my use case was, 18 months ago, I started a conference called AI Mavericks, and I was looking for early AI business tool companies to come out and present. And I was introduced by you to Delphi, and Delphi came out, and when we were first, and they had very few customers at the time, right? Because all this stuff is really new, all this stuff is really early, and my use case was I had shifted from where I used to teach. I have a couple of books out there on entrepreneurship, on startup and scale, and things like that. But I wanted to move out of that space, and I just wanted to talk to people about AI. And what I found was people kept pulling me back into the old stuff. How do I raise money? How do I do this? How do I do that? And so I said to Andrew, our friend, Andrew over at Delphi, I said, this is my thing. I want to spend all my time over here. And he said, well, let's take all of the content that you have. Let's take all three of your books. Let's take all of your podcasts. Let's take all the videos that you've shot. I had hundreds of articles and blog posts and things like that. And he said, let's put them in there. And he said, let's just train your digital mind. And from now on, when somebody asks you, how do I raise capital? Just send them to your website and have them ask you. And the crazy thing is that from the first person who went on there, it just be like, at first it seemed kind of weird to me. And I'm like, how is this going to work?
Totally.
But what I found was that from the first time somebody went on there, they're like, man, that was awesome. I was on your clone for 50. I remember he said 50 minutes just talking and having this one-on-one conversation. And it was about raising capital. And so, I have other friends, we have other friends who've done the same thing, but now what they do is they'll charge, X number of dollars a month or something like that for that 24/7 access. What that did for me is it gave me so much time back, and it enabled me to focus on the programs and the things that I wanted to do in my business without missing a beat with those particular customers or leads or prospects.
That's the key thing, is that it's scaling you in a way where it doesn't need to involve your time.
Right.
So many people they start with, what is the thing that's bottlenecking them in the business right now? Where can you add more value, to an existing community? But then pretty quickly after, actually, most of the time, is they see how well it's working, like pretty quickly after, you're onboarded, you have the it's all programmed, content's in there. Then you start thinking like, where else can I use this? And then that's where we've seen a lot of people turn into and like create a front end, lead gen type of experience that then can turn into a subscription. Maybe it's a new subscription, revenue stream for their business because of that, all access pass basically. And it's and what I've heard is like it's literally little to no maintenance when it comes to these things. Obviously want to keep it up to date and check in and make sure you're optimized with the new things coming out, but it's a whole different type of media, really. Like right. Just like podcasting, if you think about now, this is a different form, a way it's modulating your existing content, but you're technically creating new a way of engaging people online or anywhere in the world.